Halo Reach. The only thing I can think of that's more bipolar than a teenage relationship. And just like a bipolar teenage relationships, we have our ups and downs. Yet for some reason Halo Reach tends to make our ups feel quite hollow. And today I just wanted to talk about that. I have two missions that I think present this perfectly. A lot of people talk about Tip of the Spear being the big hoorah mission, the mission that shows the full might of UNSC military or whatever. And that's pretty true, I'd say, especially with like the starting cutscene. You have like a huge infantry or whatever the hell you call it rolling in. It's actually sick as hell. But I think a mission that allows you to build up to that point is actually Oni sword base. And while it starts off, you're being attacked and all, and you have to defend. The ability to be able to be attacked and to repel an attacker is a big deal, and it signifies a huge quote unquote turning point in a war, potentially. Uh, Spoiler alert, that did not happen in Reach. But they sure as hell make you feel like you won something. There's like three parts in this mission that really stick out to me. The first being the initial courtyard you land into. I don't know why I love this area so much. Maybe because of the added verticality you have going on, and then you have all the shields up. It's just really fun to have two forces on two different sides of the map kind of colliding into each other in the middle. And that's basically what this little first area is you got forces on both sides just pushing up. I don't know, it's just dumb fun to shoot them as they run up. My memory might be failing me here, but I don't think this was ever a multiplayer map, and I always wished it was, because I always thought it'd be a really cool, like, little multiplayer map to have. There's just so many little neat angles that you can go around in this area, and also, I love how there's always just a sniper somewhere in some corner if you just look long enough in Halo. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever noticed, but like any mission in at least Reach, if you look around long enough, you're going to find a sniper propped up in a corner. It's always going to be positioned in like a perfect little sniping spot too. And it's just so clever. It's clever little design. You're like, oh, that spot looks like a sniping spot. You go out there with like your DMR or something, and then you see the sniper on the ground. And you're like, hey, uh, 50 cal's much better than 5.57 or whatever the hell Halo Universe uses. I'm gonna be honest, that tends to put down everything. Moving on, we have these two really, 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 really annoying wraiths. I hate wraiths in Reach. Like, they tend to just have this almost aimbot like precision when you're hiding behind a rock, and they just angle their little like mortar blast just at the right angle so that when you turn around and look up, there's a mortar already on your head, and you gotta be like, yep, this is how I die, this is it. And I don't know why, but every time I've played this mission, be it easy, normal, heroic, or legendary, these things manage to kill me at least like once or twice. Just because maybe I don't take them serious enough. I don't know. But these things are annoying. I think it's also hilarious how there's this little elite in the middle of the area that always gets bombarded by either gunfire or the giant missiles falling from the sky. I love how deceiving this mission is. You go outside to re-enable your AA gun and re-enable communications or something like that at some old boomtown looking area. And honestly, during all of that, it kind of feels like a distraction because by the time you come back to Sword Base, guess what? It's already filled with enemies again. And oh, they got further in this time. They're past the courtyard. Before we get into Sword Base itself, though, I want to talk about these two hunters that pop up and how terrifying they are to deal with. The first time I was playing through Halo Reach, man, these guys obliterated me so many times. But having the shotgun right next to them, honestly, just like, it's kind of fun to just jump around hunters trying to dodge their attacks. Is it like very practical? No. But is it fun? Yeah, it is. You gotta love being giant titanium armor, eh? Now, finally, actually getting up the elevator and getting into the office, I think this is actually hilarious writing from Bungie here because as you come in, it says a representative will be with you shortly, and then Kat, as she walks by, is like, "Yeah, I somehow doubt that." It's just, and then you have elites and grunts running from the back hallway coming in, and it's just, I don't know, it's just that's funny. It's not the haha in your face, this is funny, laugh now, but it's just it's subtle humor. I don't know, it just really works with the Halo franchise too, because these are soldiers, not emotional teenagers in the middle of a action movie. Oh boy, if I thought I loved vertical spaces before I got into the offices. As soon as I got into the offices, my love became admiration. This area is vertical heaven. Not only is it vertical heaven, but it's also room by room combat. And isn't that fun? Especially when you got a shotgun. Every time I pick up a shotgun now, for some reason the Doom music starts playing in my head, and I can't help but getting into everything's faces with the shotgun and violently punching them to death. I'm starting to think it's a problem. I might need to talk to a psychiatrist, honestly. After engaging in room by room combat, you end up getting up to this destroyed looking hangar, and Emil's sitting out there. He's like, help me, please. There's too many of these damn banshees. I keep swatting them away, but they won't go away. And you're like, oh, no problem. Have you tried a rocket launcher before? And you know what? The rocket launcher tends to clean them up really quickly, believe it or not. Turns out explosives are great for getting rid of vehicles. Who would have figured? After driving back that Phantom, you see the Corvette start going back, and you start seeing these two long swords come up. They start chasing behind you, and you're like, ooh, they're going to shoot missiles at it or something. And then they kind of get close, and then they swerve away, and you're like, huh, why did they do that? And then you got George coming up, and he's like, beautiful, ain't it? And then this fucking missile goes right through the ship and drives right through the center of the Corvette, blows it up. It starts slowly falling in, like, slow motion for some reason. I don't know why it's falling so slow, but hey, like, spaceships. After that, you go downstairs, and Halsey's in a box. I'm not sure why she's in a box. She doesn't seem to care that she's in a box either. She just seems to be very annoyed with Carter. George walks up and he's like, Mima, they're bad guy. And she's like, what kind of bad guy? And he's like, Mima, the zealots are here. And she's like, oh no, the zealots, oh no, they're going to invade Reach and make us die. And he's like, oh no. And everybody's like, oh no. And Carter's like, I am strong and I am threatening to arrest you, Halsey. And she's like, wow, kind of rude. I made you, but whatever. And Carter's like, come on, Cat. We don't have to take this, and leaves. And then they go do some, I don't know, Spartan stuff. You might be asking yourself, what does that actually mean? And basically it means Halsey's like, yo, those were scouts, and big guy's coming to kill us all, make us dead. And everybody's like, well, dang. Yeah, so in the end, that entire victory and defending all that stuff didn't really matter because that wasn't the main fleet. That was just the scouts. And you really gotta think, if the scouts can do this much damage to one of our big bases, and they were just the scouts? Let me repeat, they were just the scouts? What chance we have against an armada? Like, oh, it starts drilling this thought in your head. Oh, we could be really, really screwed here. But you don't know how screwed you are. Until tip of the spear and like 15 Corvettes show up over your planet, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm dead. Hey, you guys blew up that last video, like, insanely. I put it up thinking, it'd just get like, I don't know, 50 views, maybe 100 if I was lucky, but as the last time I checked it, it was at 1.8k with over 100 likes, and that is just mind-boggling. I honestly did not expect that. Like, there's no way to, like, properly express how surprised I was, especially since it gets the same words get recycled on YouTube all the time. But if it counts, just know I'm genuinely thankful. This video is going to be part of like a two-parter. I want to talk about Exodus next, or Exodus, whatever it's called. I think that's a good mission to parallel with this one. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I'm not very good at editing off videos, so I guess I'll just leave it by saying Halo Reach is the best Halo because it has forklifts.